Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to another V Revival presentation match. Today we've got a battle of the disappearing rear guards. Up at the top corner, bearing the red gloves, it is just Andrew with Grand Blue's very own ghosty archetype, now revamped with some brand new ghosties to add to the crew. How are we doing, Andrew?
Very good. I very like this deck. It may not be spikes, but they're kind of similar. A tad. At least in the multi-tag.
the whole disappearing rearguard thing once again, right? Meanwhile, in the bottom corner, bearing the blue gloves, we've got the Murakumo archetype being piloted by our very own Ninja Master Genesis. Genesis here, unfortunately, is unable to talk via mic for the moment, so he'll be a silent fighter, but I'll still be sure to explain his cards and also auditorily explain some of the things that he's doing as we go along in the fight. Now, with all that said, are we ready to begin, fellas?
Yup.
Alright then, with that, stand up Vanguard. Alright, well, both Vanguards are already up, so might as well just get going. Genesis has got the first move here down at the bottom. Okay, looks like he's going to start it off with a ride immediately into a new card. Very nice. This is Stealth Beast Deathly Dagger, but Deathly Dagger has got a nice Rotopon skill here that'll pop into play next turn, but we'll have to wait until that moment. In the meantime, he's getting himself an energy generator and getting another draw for the turn, and who knows if that's all he's got for this turn. Yep, he passes it on over, and now it's time for Ghosties to take their initial turn.
Okay, alright, Damien the Ghosty. I'll activate the G0, add a quick shield to my hand. Get a draw, I'll activate Damien. Being able to discard any Ghosty.
This ride line is so effing nice. Damn, bro. Discarding the best card in the entire archetype. Very nice. Easy. We've had this for a long time too. Just dump any ghosty. At least they say when placed from hand. Can you imagine just being able to do that from like placed from anywhere? Oh man.
Swing for a nice 8k.
Oop, he's taking that hit.
Get to Quincy.
Oh, Ninja Master checking his key new boss monster over there. This fella, Kasumi Rogue. We'll get into what he does a little bit later. But for now, Ninja Master goes on to turn 2. Alright, riding over Deathly Dagger into Stealth Beast Chain Geek. Okay, so Deathly Dagger procs here. Now, when Deathly Dagger is rode upon, she's able to Soul Blast 1, in this case Soul Blasting herself, and revealing a grade 3 normal unit from the hand. By doing this, they're able to search for another grade 3 card with a different card name and add to the hand. Then afterwards, the player will bot deck any card of their choice from the hand to the bottom of the deck. So, it looks like, oh, very interesting. So, you got two very different mechanics being revealed here in one go. Revealing Covert Demonic Dragon Kagura Bloom, which was the traditional break ride for the Murakumo archetype, followed by having that add a Onmyo Stealth Rogue Seimei, which was the Legion for the Murakumo clan. Wow, it really went for a twofer there. Really interesting seeing that. Alright, oh, and it seems like Chain Geek's got a proc at this point too. So when Chain Geek is placed on the Vanna rear circle, other than during the battle phase, so that's important to note for this skill, counterblasting 1 to look at the top 4 cards of the deck, and calling any card that is not a Chain Geek. And until the end of the turn, Chain Geek actually inherits the name of whatever the heck he calls, which is really nice for anyone who knows what Murakumo does. It's very much predicated on copying names in order to have multiple copies of names on the field. A lot of different cards in the archetype care about this feature, so it seems like Chain Geek has a lot of generic, friendly implications here. Ooh, another new card here. We got Stealth Fiend Lake Diver being played. Lake Diver, ooh, got a hefty bit of text here. Kind of neat art there as well. He's like just doing some sort of weird like Sui no Jutsu from like the lake there. Huh, cool stuff. Alright, he's calling it over as a booster, it looks like, but will he commit any further for the turn? Seems the Ninja Master might be thinking at the moment, trying to consider his options at the moment. He does have the opportunity to go up to grade 3 first, but does that mean he'll play it chill and keep resources, or go a little bit more aggressive? It seems he's going to choose the former in this case, going for a simple 17k to the Vanguards.
Well, no guard.
Alright, and that's a no guard from Andrew being declared. Drive check into another Lake Diver. Alright then. Jesse the Ghosty getting damage check. Not the greatest damage check in the world, but if that gets healed out, that's quite stonks. Lake Diver proccing at this moment. So it has a backward rear circle skill. At the end of the turn, you can choose another of the units, and if he has 2 or more cards with the name as that unit, you can return this unit to the hand. And if he returns and you have 6 or less cards in the hand, you can Soul Blast to draw. Oh, this is a really interesting skill here, because Chain Geek has a detrimental skill where at the end of the turn, he has to bot deck the card that he called off this skill. But because of Lake Diver skill, he was able to Sanford Sam around that particular downside and bounce to the hand instead. So it becomes a true +1. Nice little combo play right there.
Alright, let's cast the Ghosty. I'll call a Columbard, a Trusty. Search your deck to discard 1 and call 1 for my drop.
Okay. Okay, so Hexeth being the ride, but then Columbard searching for any card here. Ah, alright. Dumping, then calling Jesse the Ghosty. Well, looks like the illusion of choice there. Jesse was never out of your reach after all.
Hit out to Quincy. Quincy will gain 5k on boost.
Ooh, wow.
Then we'll go to
that's
battle
ironic.
phase.
Looks like the Protect deck is being more aggressive than the Excel deck here.
I'll swing just a 9k to the BC.
Ooh, no guard being declared.
Guard.
And
Getting
hit with a crit in the early game here. Hopefully we can get some defensive checks in order to try and make up for that. Oh, really nice defensive draw trigger right there. Getting the extra power and the draw will really help stabilize the game plan here. Ah, Kuzunoha. This is the Legion mate to go with the Legion leader Seimei that we already saw earlier. Okay, so that puts up to 19, so both of the Rearguards are still able to hit, but at least the lesser number totals will now mean it's easier to guard.
Okay, we'll swing Columbard with Quincy. This will just be a 22k to the BC.
Okay, looks like it's a 5k guard here, so a simple one to guard if he chooses to do so. Oh, alright, guarding with Emissary Crow. Really stonks here. Energy blasting 3 and we get another drop. Effectively a free guard at that point if you discount the energy, of course. Okay, okay.
Okay, at the end of the boost, we'll activate Quincy to put to soul and draw.
Oh, damn, bro. Damn, that's a really nice way for you to use energy in this deck. Oh, crap.
Then we'll swing a simple 24k to the BC.
Alright, 10k guard on this one. We'll cough it up. Lake Diver guards. Aha! Alright. Lake Diver came back to help out Chain Geek after Chain Geek got him out. True bros after all. Oh, hold up a second. Lake Diver just activated his skill. When he was put on the Guardian Circle, he put a normal unit from the drop on the bottom of the deck in order to get shield. Interesting. So even though the shield is not relevant at all, he's just doing it to get back to that Deathly Dagger that he soul blasted earlier. Not a bad combo there. Alright then. Oh, now it looks like we're going to be able to see Murukuma get to grade 3. Now, if I were to place my bets here, I'd say Cogger to Bloom is the one that's going to get manifest on the Vanguard circle here. Considering it was the break ride once upon a time, those tend to be first turn rides. Well, first grade 3 turn, I should specify. Aha, here we go. So now we've got Covert Demonic Dragon, Cogger to Bloom hitting the Vanguard circle. Gain the imaginary gift Axel 2 as is tradition. Okay, drawing off the XL as always. Now, Cogger Bloom seems like he's activating his skill first off. Now, Cogger Bloom counterblast 1 when it's placed to the Vanguard circle to choose up a 1 unit card from the hand to call to the rear circle. Then he can call another copy of that card, effectively cloning it from the deck, and that clone will return back to the hand at the end of the turn. If that wasn't enough, he also gets 10,000 power to the Vanguard, as is tradition for a break ride, once again. So, looks like we're calling down the Deathly Dagger, and thus we'll be cloning for another Deathly Dagger. Alright, getting some nice grade 1 action going to the rear circle there. This is something that we've already come to be accustomed for with the Murukuma clan. Murukumo's specializing in quick-paced superior calls from the deck via the cloning method. Okay. Cogger Bloom getting a sweet 10,000 bonus there. He's quickly building up the field, but let's see where the field progresses from this point on. Chain Geek, alright. When Chain Geek's rode upon, he calls himself to the rear circle, and that's actually kind of interesting in this case, because he had the opportunity to call the Chain Geek off of the skill, off the skill first, and then Cogger Bloom to multiply it, but it seems he instead opted to go for Deathly Dagger instead. Likely because Deathly Dagger has a more important skill in this place, or he just needed more boosting units. Chain Geek as well, oh my, okay. So, Chain Geek is looking at the top 4. Juonchanter. Okay, so Juonchanter now inherits the... Well, Chain Geek inherits the name of Juonchanter, so they're effectively the same unit. Juonchanter has an axe skill to put a normal unit from the drop zone on the bottom of the deck in order to change Juonchanter's name to that unit's name, and he gets boosts. And specifically, he's choosing any of your other units. He doesn't inherit the name of the card he bot decks. Bot decking is a quote-unquote cost just to get back refresh targets from the deck. Alright here. So Juonchanter, good booster. He's activating skill now to bot deck a normal unit from the drop zone. He's got 2 targets. Energy Cycler, okay, he's going for the Lake Diver in this case, returning that back to the deck, and now he can inherit any names. Considering he already has 2 Deathly Dagger, I think the only thing better than 2 Deathly Dagger is 3 Deathly Dagger. Let's see here. He might also try to opt for something different. It's hard to really say because different names have different sort of importances here. And it looks like he is indeed inheriting the name of Deathly Dagger and moving it up, interestingly enough. Despite it having the boost ability, it apparently doesn't need... calling another Lake Diver. It seems we're going to be seeing a lot of this particular guy here in the midst. Alright, now he just has one more open slot in the front row, and I'm sure he's going to be filling it with something at least. Oh, Rearguard Hagino Bloom. Okay, this is bad though, because Hagino Bloom has a continuous skill on the van and Rearguard circle during your turn, as long as you have 2 or more units of the same name. Super easy for Murakuma, gets 5,000 power. So not only is his Vanguard a 27k beater, excuse me, he's a 17k beater on the rear circle there. So he's looking pretty good to do some serious damage against ghosties and maximizing on the benefits of going first here. Okay, looks like Chain Geek is kicking it off, going for 14 on the Vanguard. A nice solid 10k guard being demanded here.
Go with the column and a quick shield.
Intercept and quick shield. Alright. Well, a nice simple guard there. I guess we're probably planning on guarding as we see fit. Okay, Hagino Bloom going in right away with support for 35k on the Vanguard.
That'll be a no guard.
That's a no guard. Alright, let's see that twin drive then. Ooh, getting the critical trigger, tagging back Andrew for that earlier crit. Nice little vengeance play there. Alright, critical to the Vanguard as is tradition. And 10,000 going to Juonchanter to make that column a little bit more powerful. Second check, ooh, revealing a nice Festival Collection grade 1 PG. Not bad at all. Alright, twin damage check. First check is a no trigger for Quincy the Ghosty, and ooh, critical trigger. Okay, looks like it's Crit Fest here. This time it's going to be giving some defensive benefits over to Hexa the Ghosty. Deathly Dagger skill now procs his time. At the end of the battle, they boosted as long as there are 2 more units with the same name as the boosted unit, which is important because Hagino Bloom, there's no one in the rear circle. You're able to retire the Deathly Dagger and bot deck a normal unit from the drop zone in order to soul charge 1 and then counter charge 1. Nice, getting back both resources here and also recurring back some important cards. And it looks like Deathly Dagger is just bot decking herself as well. So how about that? Being able to effectively bot deck for it is a nice little treat. Ooh. Hey, look at that. Front trigger and critical triggers. Well, looks like we can't really quite tell what to expect from future drive checks if both of them are in the deck there. Alright. Okay, next attack seems to be 25 on the Vanguard from the Rearguard Kasumi Rogue.
Guard with the Damien for 10k.
Alright. And that's another ghosty in the drop zone there, and we already know the power of that. Or I guess we'll come to find out even more the power of that as the turn progresses next turn. Alright, Juonchanter with support for 27k there. Asking for a 15k card to pass the turnover.
Guard with a crit.
Nice, okay. Well, Ghosty keeping it nice and solid at 3-3 there, and still getting decent hand size there. Alright, Kagura Bloom's skill now activates at the end there, rather the skill that he granted. So now he's bouncing back that Deathly Dagger on the rear circle. Lake Diver activating as well. Lake Diver choosing the Kagura Bloom, and that allows him to bounce back. A lot of really nifty combos here in conjunction with one another. However, one thing about this turn is now the Juonchanter does have to return back to the bottom of the deck as we see here because he wasn't able to bounce it back. But having said that, it's a small price to pay, especially in a clan like this one. Alright, now we're going on to the Ghosty turn 3. Show him what you got, Andrew.
Okay, I'll ride into Demetria. I'll activate Hesketh on ride, so I get to look at the top 3 and add a Ghosty to my hand. I'll choose to add Quincy to the hand, and I'll discard 2 cards.
Oh, discarding here. And those discards appear to be Columbard and Mick the Ghosty and family. Oh shoot. This is a very under the radar promo that I don't know how many people even realize existed as a retrain V already. That is insane. I've even had a couple people ask me, hey, why not retrain Mick? It's already a card, guys. So Hexeth being able to do that, and interestingly enough for the audience here, Hexeth does have an alternative clause where if a Ghosty was not revealed by this effect, then he's able to call himself out of the rear. So even if you just had the mass dump 3, you'd still call it. So kind of nice there. It's a really good ride line out of the way. Damien getting slowed down again, so we can expect another Ghosty in the drop zone of Andrew's choice. What'll it be this time?
We'll search for Fabian.
Fabian. Interesting fun fact for the audience here with Fabian as well. Fabian recently underwent a minor power buff from the recent errata list where Fabian's able to get 1000 power for every single card in the drop zone but he has to retire himself afterwards. This used to be 1000 for every 2 cards in the drop zone, but has since been increased because Fabian honestly hit like a noodle.
I'm going to use Demetria's skill. I'll Soul Blast 1, I'll Soul Blast out Quincy. And I'll look at the top 7 and discard 2 Ghosties.
Ooh, double discard off the top 7 there. Really nice deck filtering and also the ability to get back just a whole slew of different Ghosty options here. Ghosty is actually a somewhat well-developed archetype in V-Series in terms of just the number of card representations it has. There's a lot of different cards in it. Not all of them are good, of course, but still, it does mean you could have some pretty interesting tools in the Ghosty arsenal here. Discarding a Hexeth, it looks like here. Now being able to revive back 1 card from the drop zone is the other part of that Soul Blast. Really simple discard and plus kind of effect there. Wow, you sure love your Quincy's, don't you, Andrew?
I very much do. Demetria will give every Ghosty 5k, and on attack / boost until we gain 5k. Okay. Go to battle phase, we'll swing a simple 12k to the VC.
12k Vanguard, keeping it really nice and light here at first. Ooh, making it a 2 to pass. Nice and easy guard there.
First check. Got a heal, we'll get back a Quincy. Give 10k to Damien.
Playing it safe, giving it over to Damien the Ghosty.
Check another, put another Damien.
Alright, and it looks like the caution was rewarded on Andrew's part. But still, attacking Demetria first, not a move that you generally see in the Ghosty archetype here. I wonder what that means.
We'll swing a Quincy for 18 to the VC.
18's a 10k guard, looks like. Oh, Genesis hitting his own heal trigger there. And considering there was a PG in the drop zone earlier that still counterblasted face down, he has himself a fantastic target. Okay, being able to get back. Huh, interesting, between the drive pins and damage checks, these decks are somewhat mirroring each other in more ways than just the whole disappearing rearguard shtick.
Okay, now we'll do Quincy's skill. We'll Energy Blast 3 to put him into the soul to draw.
Good card advantage.
Since Quincy was technically retired, we'll activate Demetria's skill to CB and call Ghosty from my drop. We'll choose Beatrice. Then we'll activate the additional skill of discarding 2 and then being able to move her to the VC.
Moving is really interesting clause here because it doesn't allow for extra protect marker generation, but what it does do is it does move over as a new Vanguard regardless.
Speaking of protect, I'm just going to add that to my hand when I first rode Demetria.
Right. Fair enough.
We'll activate BH through his skill. We'll Soul Blast 1. We'll get out Hesketh.
Nice,
and then
okay.
Call card from my drop. We'll call Fabian. Fabian will gain... Fabian on attack will gain 11k, and then will gain 5k from Demetria, just existing. Demetria will have -1 drive, though, which is important to know.
I like how each just Demetria. Two sides of the same coin, I guess.
Yup. Swing a simple 18 to the VC. 28k to the VC.
28k asking 10k guard there. Will he provide it, though? Okay, he is providing it by guarding with Zanba Raider. A little bit of a bargain guard there, but it's understandable.
Okay, at the end of the battle we attack, to activate Fabian to retire himself and to give something 5k. First, we'll activate Demetria to CB to then call a card. With a -3, we'll do Jesse. Jesse will gain 10k, then we'll activate Fabian to give him an extra 6k, so he will go up to 25k.
Interesting. Okay, Fabian being able to give an extra little bit of power there. But what's interesting about this is that this is only going to apply for this Jesse the Ghosty. Afterwards, the Ghosties are a little bit weaker and having to resort to just simple poke tactics there. So it's kind of interesting how Demetria is sort of just an extension of Beatrice rather than being like a totally different Vanguard. Also kind of like leaving yourself open for like any future Ghosty bosses, of which I don't think there's hardly any that would come out anyway. But you know, you can dream, I guess.
We'll swing Jesse for just 25k to the VC.
Okay, 5k guard on there. Intercepting with a Chain Geek there. Chain Geek being basically an on-place unit, he more or less served his purpose, so that seems like a pretty prudent move on Genesis' part.
Yeah, then we'll activate Jesse to retire himself to CC. Well, then Demetria again to CB1 and call out... Get out a Quincy. Quincy will be 18 on attack. Then we'll swing 23k VC with just Damien. Okay,
for our 5k guard here. Ooh, taking the hit but getting on the defensive. That is just a shutdown considering the front trigger gives it to the rear guard Cargo Bloom as well. What a hell of a time to hit that kind of a defensive trigger.
Okay, at the end of the battle, we'll retire him. Do CC again, of course. Since it does not matter, I will just swing Demetria. Then since I have 10 cards on my drop, I will CB1 and call Mick the Ghosty from my drop.
Aha, Mick the Ghosty Brothers coming back into play. So I'll explain this one a little bit because he's a little bit interesting. When the Vanguard attacks the drop zone, he can call himself, and not only that, he has it when placed on rear circle by a card ability effect, which includes itself. So take it away, I guess.
Activate Mick to discard the top 2 cards. Get 1, then a 2. Get Demetria. Not Demetria, Beatrice.
We'll be calling her a different name this entire turn.
He'll gain the skill to retire himself at the end of the attack, but that's not the important part. He'll give something 10k, and we'll give 10k to the VC. And that will be 40k to the VC 1 drive.
Ooh, 40k with 1 drive, maximum 50. So, asking for a 20k shield in order to no pass it effectively. What's interesting about this is we know the Lake Diver is back in the hand, and the Lake Diver is a 20k guard automatic. Oh, but is he planning on PGing instead? That would be an interesting choice considering the Lake Diver is in there instead. Okay, he might be trying to keep Lake Diver's potential rear guard for a future turn here.
We'll do a first check. Get a draw trigger.
Okay.
Get 10k to Quincy. And get a draw. It's not bad. Okay. We'll activate Quincy of Quartz, glimpse into the soul to draw for another EB3.
Alright. Getting that EB there, that's not bad at all. Now you're out of EB for now, but it still got you so many resources. Like, heck, EB 9 was spent.
Then Mick will gain 5k because he is a ghosty, obviously. And we'll swing for 38 to the VC.
Okay, asking for a 10k guard on that one. Okay, now Lake Diver's coming on in. Interesting. Adding my chain geek, okay.
Okay, at the end of the battle, sadly I do not have any more EB, so I would just retire Quincy. Then I will retire Mick as well.
And with that, the ghosties are out of field and basically just sitting there, but only at 2 damage, so Andrew can effectively sandbag a lot here. Alright, now it's time for the Ninja Master to make a comeback turn here. Let's see what he's got cooking. Alright, and now he rides. Ah, here we are. Covert Demonic Dragon, Kasumi the Rogue, the star of the show for this band of ninjas. Now then, getting the XL2 for another draw, and then immediately the effect of the Kagura Bloom's Break right now activates. He being one, choosing up to 1 card from the hand to call, and then he can clone it and bounce at the end of the turn. What will he choose this time, however? Okay, calling Deathly Dagger again for more resources. Seems to be a pretty common play for Kagura Bloom here. Hmm. 10,000 power going to good old Kasumi Rogue as well. And now where does he take this turn from here? Aha, the Legion now coming out into play. Now this is a very archetypal type of Legion. So when it's placed on the Vanguard rear circle, like many of these Rearguard Legions as they're called, he CBs 1 and putting 2 cards from the drops from the bottom of the deck. If he puts exactly 1 trigger and 1 normal unit, he's able to search the deck for his Legion mate, which in this case is Kuzunoha. So it looks like he's bot decking another Seimei of all things and a critical trigger in order to get the Kuzunoha from the deck. What do we go from here, though? So he's quickly filling out the board, which is not a surprise for a deck like this, of course, right? They're really good at that. All right, now it's kind of nice seeing the Legion mate and Legion leader kind of like sharing different excels on opposite sides there. So it's kind of like they're Legion, but they're like star-crossed from across the field there. All right, Kuzunoha being placed here. Kuzunoha definitely has a pretty interesting skill, but it's not going to manifest itself until the battle phase. Alright, now he's rocking the other skill of Seimei, which is an axe skill. So by EVing 3, he's able to choose another unit, and he gets not only 5,000 power for that unit, but he changes his own name to become that unit's name. And if he chooses a Kuzunoha, he's able to bot deck an opponent's unit. But considering there's nothing to bot deck, it may not be wise to choose Kuzunoha, but rather get a different name going on here. Then again, I wonder, he's got a few different ways he could take this. Alright, and it looks like he's adopted the name of Kuzunoha, so he's going for it after all. Maybe he's got another plan because of that. Now that we've got 2 more units, Cosmic Rogue's gained extra continuous skill going on there. Lake Diver to the field, alright. Lake Diver just always seeming to be manifesting itself at this point. Kuzunoha attacking, so he's entering the battle phase, leaving a circle open. Interesting. Now Kuzunoha's skill activates. He Soul Blasts 1 when he attacks in order to choose the Vanguard and gets 5,000 power. Furthermore, if it's the first battle of the turn, and he has 2 more units of the same name, easy enough again, he can Counterblast 1 or Energy Blast 3 in order to look at the top 7 cards of the deck, and he can reveal a unit that shares the name of any card in his field and either call to the rear circle or add it to the hand. If he fails to reveal anything at all, he just draws instead, so you'll be able to get compensated for a plus regardless. I think he's trying to bet here to see either a Cosmic Rogue, one of the Legions, or maybe even a copy of the a copy of the Kagura Bloom if he has one left. There's a lot of different options that he could call this top 7 here. He just needs to hit any one of them. Preferably something that he can get like even more copies of. Okay. So he decided to just draw instead, so it looks like he wasn't able to hit anything off of that, which is kind of an unfortunate low roll, but, you know, we do what we can. Alright, so now Genesis is declaring a simple 19 on the Vanguard against Ghosties.
For a specialty of Ghosties that is not new, but still very fun, I'll call Heztest, and he will gain 5k shield for a 10k guard.
Ah yes, Ghosties, giving an extra defensive bonus to all the Ghosties to be just especially good at tanking the opponent. Alright, and now he's going to be attacking with support with Kasumi Rogue. $35k Vanguard, he declares.
35k. I will no guard that one.
No guarding the Kasumi Rogue. Alright, here comes the twin drive check. Another critical trigger comes on down for Kasumi here, giving the critical to the Vanguard. And the power seems to be going over to the Seimei on the Rearguard. Or, now it's Kuzunoha, but we know what we know. Ooh, a nice double trigger there, snagging a nifty draw to back up the play. Okay, this time it seems Kagura Bloom, so he's evenly distributing the power to try and prepare for a potential defensive here from this double damage check incoming. Damage check 1 shows the Demetria, alright, and damage check 2, Negerbone. Okay, so no defensives there, so he's still got the lane clear to try and deal some more damage over to the Ghosty player. Now he's got the skill Deathly Dagger again, being able to retire it in order to return back a normal unit from drop and getting a soul encounter charge. Deathly Dagger is just so mission critical to this deck's overall resource gaming, returning back Lake Diver, so you got a bit of a loop going, considering Lake Diver, when placed, can also give back a Deathly Dagger to the bottom of the deck. Soul charging Cosmic Rogue, which is definitely not a bad soul charge in this instance, so things are quite merciful here so far. Alright, now Seimei's coming on in. He's going to be attacking for a total of 32, taking into calculation the Excel marker.
We'll guard with a Mick, the Ghosty. Since he is a Ghosty, he will gain 5k.
Ooh, making it a 37 guard. That is a clean guard from Andrew there. Shoot, one of the very few decks still in V that would just opt to run the generic 20k shield heals. Kasumi coming into the fray now. 35k on the Vanguard, it looks like.
35k, I will gladly take that one.
Ooh, okay, getting hit with the defensive here, but it does mean that Ghosty now has a total of 3 damage, if not more, to play with, depending on his play lines here. Lake Diver at the end of the turn, now being able to get himself a bounce back to the hand. He's choosing the Kuzunoha, which he has 2 Kuzunohas for that ability to proc. Deathly Dagger as well, bouncing back to the hand because of the skill granted by Kasumi Rogue. Alright, and now turn ends at 4 to 5. Kasumi doing a lot of damage, but it seems as though Beatrice and the Ghosty gang is holding on to a lot of card advantage still, which is not a great thing for Kasumi to see here, considering that it wants to be able to get the opponent a more simplified game state by this stage.
We'll ride once again to Dementria.
Ooh, okay.
We'll add another
yet another PG. Alright, so it looks like it's PG City growing that hand between the 2 protects and the confirmed Gustion from Drive Check earlier.
Activate Dementria. We'll Soul Blast 1. We'll get out. Quincy. Look at the top 7. Discard 2 ghosties again. We'll discard. Oh boy.
Pat the Ghosty.
Japanese, I kind of forget. Patrick the Ghosty. We'll discard him. We'll shuffle. Then we'll call out a slightly weird maneuver, but yeah, we'll call out the Beatrice. We'll activate Beatrice. We'll get out the other Beatrice. And we'll call another card from my drop, and we will do Fabian.
Ooh, okay, got a whole field lined up with grade 3s going. And because how Demetria works, being able to call back the Beatrice and then move it over, and then Beatrix and then call back the baby, there's going to be a lot of multi-attack on this turn here. If Genesis is able to damage check a trigger off for this 5th damage, he might be in good standing, but otherwise this is going to be quite annoying to deal with.
We'll activate Hesketh from the drop. By activating the following skill from the drop, I'll be able to discard 1 and be able to call a ghosty from my drop. But I will have to bind him.
Okay, so Hesketh is kind of acting as a sort of a Negroman in a way, which is interesting.
And we'll get out Quincy to the back row. Quincy will then gain 10k. Since there are 17 cards on the drop, Fabian will gain an extra 17, going up to 22, making him a 34k swing. We'll swing a simple 12k to the VC, but we'll activate the skill of Nick from the drop, and cost of CB1, and calling him to the back row behind Beatrice. We'll activate the following skill, discard the top 2 cards, crit and a Necro Bone. Then we'll give something 10k, and that will be Demetria.
Okay,
for
so
a 22k to the VC.
Okay, a bit of a tougher hit here. Going PG looks like alright. Discarding Ataka as the cost.
Okay, we'll check. Get a heal. Let's see. We'll get out another Dementria, I suppose. And we'll face down those. We'll give 10k to Beatrice. And we'll do another check. Get a column guard. Then we'll swing Fabian. Fabian will swing for 34k to the VC. Retire him at the end of the battle, of course.
Hefty attack here. This might be a chance to get defensive if he so chose. Interesting. Okay, so using skill of PG from the drop zone by removing another one. Then he'll be able, as long as he gives another 5k guard on top of that, which could be known to intercept as well, he'll be able to guard that attack. I guess he's waiting for something else as the 1 damage to take. Maybe he just feels like he can hard guard a lot of these. Oh, okay. Guarding a little bit extra by getting the Drench Serpent in there instead. Interesting.
Okay, then we'll retire Fabian. First, we'll do Demetria. We'll CB1 and call a card from our drop. Unsurprisingly, that will be again Beatrice. We'll proceed to discard 2 and move her to the VC. We'll get rid of a PG, and a Column Bard.
Discarding a PG. I guess he really has enough PGs to deal with this, which I guess Excel makes a bit more sense. I mean, they're not really high quality attacks for the most part in Excel.
Then actually Beatrice will Soul Blast 1 and call in a card. We'll get, once again, Fabienne, and the retired Fabienne will give Beatrice herself 5k.
Oh, shoot.
And since it's 21 cards in the drop, he will gain a 26k boost.
Combo's going sicko mode, and then he'll be able to keep getting the ghosty chain from here. Okay, maybe this is the Fabian attack that he was trying to save the damage check for.
Now we'll swing Fabienne for 36 to the VC.
Oh shoot, huge. Getting a defensive heal trigger at this point, and because Andrew healed down, now Genesis is able to as well. That is quite massive. But what will he heal out? He could try to... so he's got a few... He's going to go for Kuzunoha, it looks like. Alright. Okay, so he's quickly able to fight back thanks to the power of some nice defensives here. Okay. He's very clutch in this scenario here. Good stuff.
Then at the end of the battle, we'll retire Fabienne. We'll CB1 and call G2 from the drop. We would call out Jesse, where's
Jesse?
There he is.
And
Get
now
out
here
Jesse.
comes the ghosty attack chain. Everyone knows this attack chain.
Fabienne will swing for... Not Fabienne, I mean Jesse will swing for just 25k to the VC.
25k, alright. Ah, okay, so taking another damage here, but this time the greed didn't quite work out. Damage checking your normal unit, but you know, at least it's chain geek, because that's what's important with this stage of the game.
We'll proceed to retire Jesse to CC, then we'll CB that back, then call out a G1. We'll get out, where is he? A Damien. Not placed from hand, so I cannot search, sadly, but he will gain 10k exactly. We'll simply swing for 19 at the this G3.
Ooh, attacking on the Seimei there. Interesting choice there. Alright, Seimei being attacked on for 18, asking for a 10k guard. Oh, shoot, and it's getting guarded. Okay, it seems Andrew's trying to take a pot shot at the strategy here.
We'll retire him to CC. I will proceed to not call anything from Beatrice. We'll swing for 15, 17, 35k to BC. For one drive.
Right. 35 one drive. Oh, Lake Diver coming on in here. Okay. What's Lake Diver going to do now? Lake Diver's... Oh, putting back the Kuzunoha that he healed earlier. Okay. And by doing that, Lake Diver is able to get himself a handy 5k shield here. But that will not be enough to secure. Oh, wait, 10k shield. Interesting. We have Vanguard and Rearguard the same name as the card put. Oh, yeah, that's right. The Kuzunoha. Okay. So he must have... Ah, I see. So he was trying to get Kuzunoha in here so he could give extra shield to the Lake Diver. Oh, thinking ahead there. Very nice, Genesis. Okay. Now this puts his Vanguard at a total 42 thus far, which is decent, but may need a little bit more to be able to securely guard this. He's thinking hard here. He's typing.
It was 18 plus 17, so 35k. So just 5k more will be a no pass.
Otherwise, he has... Ah, intercepting Kuzunoha. Oh, that's really nifty timing right there. Just have Kuzunoha on rear, check it, get power, or rather shield for it, and then just intercept the Kuzunoha anyway. Nifty. Alright, so it's a no pass here. Let's see what happens.
We'll check.
Oh, good thing he no passed it. That's a really scary crit. Ooh, that was a real close call.
At the end of battle, he boosted. We'll activate Quincy to put him into Soul and draw. Eat the EB3. Get a draw. We'll swing 5k, 35, 30. That will be
47 on the critical.
47 PC.
The man's 30 shield. Let's see if he's got it. Lake Diver coming in again. Alright. What's Lake Diver bot decking this time? Oh, he's bot decking the Kakao de Bloom, and that actually does get him the extra shield because Kakao de Bloom's on the rear. So, wow, this Lake Diver is just so sick, dude. This Lake Diver is just putting in so much work. Okay, and he's going to be guarding with Zanba Rider on top of that. Okay.
Okay, at the end of the battle, we'll retire Mick. Beatrice will stay. First Rearguard to stay on my field, and that'll be the end.
Alright. Katsumi Rogue managing to buy itself another turn, but he doesn't have a lot of leeway left. Hopefully he'll be able to make a comeback on this upcoming turn there. Oh, from the top of his deck, hitting another Katsumi Rogue. Oh shoot, bro. It is on. Okay, getting the Excel 2 again and another draw 4. That's pretty hype. Okay. But let's see if he can draw anything good here for this situation. Okay, now the Ninja Master has to consider his strategies right now. He's got 6 energy to work with and 3 CB as well. With Katsumi Rogue's skill, once per turn, when a non-sentinel unit is placed on the rear circle or put on Guardian Circle, he's able to counterblast one of Energy Blast 3 in order to duplicate it to the field. Now he's blocking Katsumi Rogue at this moment. So he's going to be, it looks like he's Energy Blasting 3, and he'll get a duplicate. Now, which of these rear cards would he like to duplicate at this point? Will it be Deathly Dagger, or will it be another Katsumi Rogue? What's interesting about Katsumi Rogue's skill here is that this duplicate applying on either Guardian Circle or Rear Circle means that it's pretty darn good, both defensively and offensively, depending on the situation, and makes cards like Deathly Dagger and Lake Diver that recur back units also important because they'll constantly refresh targets for you. Alright, so looks like he's searching through the deck at the moment. What does he got? He doesn't have any more Deathly Daggers, so without any Deathly Daggers, maybe he has to pick a... Does he have Katsumi Rogues left, though? Maybe he's out of Katsumis? On that last bit, when he was guarding with Lake Diver, he could have bot decked back one of those Deathly Daggers. He still would have enough shield because of Zanba. Maybe that was a minor misplay in retrospect. Okay. However, it's still not over him yet. In order to activate the main skill of his Vanguard, he needs to put back 3 cards in total with the Seimei amongst his field in hand. And thankfully, because of the skill of his Seimei can choose another unit to get 5,000 power and inherit its name. That means the Seimei can count as a Deathly Dagger here if he wanted to go for it. So he still has that option. Okay, so now he's going to go for the Seimei here. And trying to copy back a name. So, I mean, even more stability. So, he used up, although, because there's no targets here for Katsumi Rogue, he may as well keep the energy for that, but still. Using the energy 3 to try, and he's going to give the power and inherit the name of the center column Deathly Dagger. Alright, so now that that's Deathly Dagger, there are 3 Deathly Daggers in total, which is nifty. It does mean, however, he'll want to keep the Deathly Daggers on the field in order to get Katsumi Rogue's total skills, so he's not going to be able to convert them to their own skills. A little sad, because he would have wanted to do Katsumi Rogue and give him a chance, but no dice there. Alright. Now looks like he's built up his field, and he's going to go straight into battle. Attacking with support for what looks to be 25 on the Vanguard at the moment. Not a bad attack.
25, I would proceed to PG. Actually, I'll PG with this one. PG. Discarding
Fesco. Okay, PGing with that Fesco means now that the Gust Jin that was discarded earlier can be live as fodder. Okay, driving check 1, drive check 2. No real good targets there, unfortunately. However, now the ultimate skill Cosmic Rope can manifest itself. When the attack does not hit, the opponent's grave to your graveyard, he can reveal a total of 3 cards of the same name amongst his hand and rear circle, and he puts them on the bottom of the deck. In order to stand Cosmic Rogue, not only does Cosmic Rogue get 3,000 power, but he has to lose the drive, but still. That means it's going to be attacking for 15 with still 1 drive check, so Cosby converted back those quote-unquote deathly daggers to get another chance in the fray here. Alright, Kasumi attacking for 15 with the drive, demanding a 15k shield in order to no-pass it.
Vanguard with a crit for no-pass.
Okay, so keeping it safe, guarding with a nice 15k shield there. Now Kasumi's going to drive check again. What do we get for that drive? Oh, shoot. Okay, once again, no trigger. It seems that while the triggers are helping defensively, now on the offense here, they have forsaken the Ninja Master. Very unfortunate. Okay, 2 more attacks left, and they're both 17k attackers. Okay, but I doubt they're going to be able to incur damage. At least not without the
guard with a crit.
Alright, guarding with that one. $70k on the rear guard. Ooh, targeting that card so that Andrew doesn't have as many options in the field. Not a bad move, although I doubt Andrew will let it go.
Honestly, yeah, Rearguard's fine.
Oh, never mind then. Maybe he has a way to revive it back. Maybe that Never money dumped earlier. Okay then. Fair play.
We'll draw. We'll EB, then charge 3. We'll activate the Necrobone from my drop. Discarding him, sending him back, then we'll call a card, so I have 10 or more. Surprisingly, I will do... I will choose Dementria. Actually, I don't really need to. I'll choose Beatrice. We'll activate Beatrice by Soul Blessing 1 and calling back out Fabian. Fabian will gain in total 32k power. We'll call Quincy from my hand. He'll gain 10k. Same with the Beatrice on rear. Since there is a 2 PGs in drop, I will first swing 17 BC.
Okay. Guarding from the drop zone, using the skill of the PG. Ninja Master's already at 5 damage and only 3 cards in hand. We know 2 of those cards are just grade 3s, which are generally dead. Very unfortunate, but he has to do what he has to do.
Now we'll swing for a 30k VC 2 drive.
And Beatrice coming in for the swing. And that's a no guard from the Ninja Master.
Check a draw. We'll just give everything to Fabienne. Second, last, get a heal, doesn't matter, we'll give everything to Fabian.
Simply style points. And that damage check means the fight is over. Ghosties take the bout this time around. Well done to both of the fighters here. Overall, definitely a pretty solid bout, all things considered. Kasumi definitely getting to go first was definitely a big boon for it, so it could help set up. But nevertheless, it seemed like Ghosties just kind of had a breeze going through a lot of this matchup here. What did you think about the fight, Andrew?
Pretty good fight, I'd say. Even with the defensive, Ghosties can pretty much squeeze their way in, even if some attacks are only 5k, is because of Fabian, you're always going to get at least 1 super big swing. And with 2 VC swings, it just adds a lot of pressure. And with the extra 5k for the shields, you just have these big guards. So you're pretty much safe from a lot of things. Overall, it's fairly good. If you like Night Rose, for example, this will be kind of up your alley. A lot of deck thinning, a lot of multi-attack, and with a splidge of extra shield in the mix.
Right. It seems like that nice little defensive edge there is huge, and probably one of the biggest boons that this deck had, honestly, comes from Hexith, because Hexith getting the ability to recur back a unit from your drop zone fixes a previous big issue of Ghosties, which is that sometimes as you're having to guard and burn the candle on both ends, you end up not really having the ability to set up back a nice board for counterattack. So Hexith helps ton there, and of course just getting the sheer card advantage, that's what Quincy is there for. Because I mean, take it from me, I actually went there's this guy I knew, and he actually tried to do this 10 draw Ghosty deck back in the proper V days, because Ghosty did not have any card advantage at all, and now Quincy's really solving that issue by constantly converting your energy into draws and shoot, kind of giving you a soul blast of soul to work with. So yeah, this looks like a fairly convincing deck, all things considered. It could noodle out against some strategies, admittedly, but I mean, shoot, it worked more than sufficiently. It looks like Genesis is typing down his thoughts over in the chat here, so we'll give it a moment while he starts typing out some of his things. But I guess to kind of voice my thoughts on the Murkuma strategy here. Oh wait, never mind. Let's go ahead and start with Genesis. He just finished. So it costs me, once you have your momentum, you have to pay attention to your drop, just so you make sure you have enough units to work with. Which this really came up here because Cosme had to get back the deck the daggers, unfortunately, which is kind of a rough trade-off, all things considered. But that's just how it had to go. I think this is an example of Cosme Rogue where it was sort of caught off balance a little bit by the matchup a bit, but there are situations where it seems like it could blast a lot better, getting nice extra shields, extra cards to the field, and also just that really nifty skill to attack, which that skill probably works best when you're trying to convert back some of your more high grade kind of units that are just better off as attackers, right? Like a good example being something like Hogwarts Bloom, right? So those bot decks could so help out there, but you have to be careful with it, as we saw. So this is so much a cautionary tale. This is also a unit that I feel like right now doesn't exactly seem like it could be the most powerful, but as it gets more support and more things that kind of like help with a more Vanguard centric offense, this could really go out of control here. So yeah, it's just really nice, flavorful boss with a lot of room to grow from then on out. And with all that said, that's going to be it for this fight. So if you guys did enjoy this fight, definitely stay tuned for any other V presentation fights that come out. These are all being pre-recorded before the actual release date of like all these units come out. So I'm not quite sure when this is going to be placed relative in the continuity of the other fights, but whether it's the first, the blast, or somewhere in the middle, I hope you guys enjoy all the other fights we have on offer of the V presentations. And if you are already, definitely join the Discord so that you can check out the live announcements of all the support for the featured clans here in those fights. And with all that said, take care and God bless. See you in the next one.